Hello, welcome to the course Python Programming for Beginners. In this, we will start a new module, Web Programming. As part of Web Programming, we will cover the following sub-modules. The first one is sockets. The second one, using the developer console to explore HTTP. Then retrieving and reading web pages. Finally, parsing web pages, also called as web scraping. Here we will discuss how to do parsing of HTML pages. Let us see one by one in subsequent lectures. First, we will discuss the first part of web programming is sockets. Okay, in sockets, we will cover the network programs concept. First, we will see TCP protocol, stands for Transport Control Protocol. Then IP address, then the terminologies used in socket, then TCP port numbers, then Python socket module, server and clients. Finally, we will demonstrate one Python program to implement client-server communication using socket. Yeah, Transport Control Protocol. Frequently it is called as TCP. This can be built on top of IP, means Internet Protocol. Assumes IP might lose some data, stores and retransmits data if it seems to be lost. It handles flow control using a transmit window and also provides a nice reliable channel. That is about transport control protocol. Then coming to IP address, an internet protocol address is a numerical label assigned to each device, means such as a computer or a smartphone which is connected to a network. It serves two main purposes. The first one is identifies the host or network interface. The second one is provides the location of the device in the network. Here it has different versions. The first one we'll call it as IPv4, means Internet Protocol version 4, which addresses, which is the most common and which consists of four set of numbers separated by periods. That means dot. For example, 192.168.0.1. So this numerical address separated with dot. Then the next version of IP protocol is IPv6. Addresses, these addresses are the newer version and are represented as 8 groups of hexadecimal digits separated by colons. IPv4 address separated with dot, IPv6 address separated with colon. For example, 2001 colon 0DB8, this is hexadecimal digit, colon 85A3 colon 0000 colon 0000 and so on. So this is the IPv6 address format. Then coming to the TCP control, I mean the transport control protocol establishment. This we'll call it as socket connection, which consisting of different layers. First you can see the layers: application layer, transport layer, internet, link. Yeah, the same part right side also there. In between, here we are having the connection. That connection we will call it as socket connection. Then the establishment of the network is called as peer-to-peer network. Here you can see application to application, both way communication, transport to transport, both way communication. Here we are having different links. These are all connected through Ethernet, and they may use fiber and satellite connections also. This is the simple stack connections that can be used in transport control protocol. Then coming to socket. Now by seeing this establishment, what is a socket actually? End-to-end connection. A socket is an endpoint for communication between two processes over a computer network. Socket serves as API interface, application programming interface, which allows processes to establish connections and sends and receives data. The concept of sockets is based on the client-server model, where one process acts as a server and listens for incoming connections, while other processes act as clients and establish connections to the server. Once a connection is established, processes can exchange data through the socket. That is about the purpose of socket. Then coming to TCP connections with sockets. In computer networking, an internet socket or simply network socket is an endpoint of a bidirectional interprocess communication flow across an internet protocol based computer network such as the internet. A single network will have two sockets. Sockets are a combination of an IP address and a port. See the following diagram. Here two processes. Between the two processes, we have the internet connection which connects the two processes. That is a TCP connection with sockets. Then coming to the terminologies used in socket. First, domain. The family of protocols that is used as the transport mechanism. These values are constants such as AF underscore INET, which stands for address family internet. The next one is PF underscore INET, stands for protocol family internet. The next one PF underscore Unix. This is Unix protocol family. Then next one PF underscore X25. This is an X25 is an ITU-T which was developed by Telecommunication Standardization Sector of International Telecommunication Union. So this standard protocol suit for packet switch data communication in wide area networks, that is WAN, etc. These are all some of the values of the domain. Then next term is type. The type of communications between the two endpoints typically denoted with socket underscore stream. Here, what is a stream? Stream also called as a connection socket. So this socket underscore stream for connection oriented protocol. If you have connectionless also, that is socket underscore dgram. So dgram stands for datagram, which is connectionless socket protocol. These are all the types. One is connection oriented, that is SOCK underscore stream. Another one is connectionless, SOCK underscore dgram. These are all the two types of protocols. Typically, 0 means this may be used to identify a variant of a protocol within the domain and type. So this is called as a protocol. The next one is host name, the identifier of a network interface, which consisting of a string which can be a host name, a dotted quad address, or an IPv6 address with colon. Then a string, for example, broadcast, which specifies an in address hyphen broadcast, means this is IPv4 broadcast address. Then a zero length string which specifies in address underscore any. This is IPv4 localhost address, or an integer interpreted as a binary address in host byte order. These are all the representation of host names. Then coming to the next terminology, port. Each server listens for clients calling on one or more ports. A port may be a fixed number port number, a string containing port number, or the name of a service. Here, ports are virtual endpoints for communication in a network. A port is associated with an IP address and allows multiple applications to run simultaneously on a device. Ports are identified by numbers ranging from 0 to 65,535. Well-known ports are denoted in between 0 to 1023, which are assigned to specific services. For example, HTTP uses the port 80, then HTTPS uses the port 443. Then there are some registered ports ranged with 10242 to 49151, which are assigned by the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, abbreviated as IANE, for specific purposes. Then the next category is dynamic or private ports, which starts from 49152 to 65535. These can be used for applications dynamically or for private purposes. Here, first you can see 0 to 1023 is one category that is well known, which are assigned to specific services like HTTP, HTTPS. Then next registered ports 1024 to 49151 assigned by the IANA for specific purposes. The next category, dynamic or private ports, ranged from 49152 to 65535. These are all the categories of port numbers with their range. Then coming to TCP port numbers. A port is an application specific or process specific software communications endpoint. It allows multiple networked applications to coexist on the same server. There is a list of well-known TCP port numbers. Let us see. So common TCP port numbers are listed in the below table. The table shows protocol-wise port numbers, then their corresponding Python libraries and their functions or usages. The first well-known protocol is HTTP, stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Its port number is 80. The Python libraries to support HTTP protocol are the first one HTTP library, then URL library, then XML RPC library. The function is this is for web pages. The next protocol FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. The port number is 20. Its supported Python libraries are FTP lib, then URL lib. This protocol is used for file transfers. The next protocol is NNTP, stands for Network News Transfer Protocol. Its port number is 119. Its Python library is NNTP lib. This is used for unsent news. Then the next protocol is SMTP, stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Its port number is 25. Its Python library is SMTP lib. You can observe the libraries almost with the name of the protocol itself end with lib. Then this SMTP is used for sending mail communication. The next protocol is Telnet. Its port number is 23. Its Python library is Telnet lib. This is for command lines. The next protocol is POP3, which stands for Post Office Protocol. Its port number is 110. Its Python library is POP lib. This is used for fetching email. Then the next protocol is Gopher. It is an application layer protocol that provides the ability to extract and view web documents stored on remote web servers. The Gopher protocol is 70. Its Python library is Gopher lib. This is used for document transfer. These are all the commonly used TCP port numbers along with their Python libraries. Now let us see Python socket module. Python has built-in support for TCP sockets. First, what we have to do, we have to import the Python socket module for this using the command import space socket. Simply you can type this statement, automatically the Python socket module or package is imported. You no need to install separately. Simply by importing you can call. So then how to create a socket in Python? To create a socket, first we must use the module name is socket, socket dot socket. Again, socket will be considered the function available in socket module. The following is the general syntax. For example, S is the object of socket. S equal to socket dot socket of. So what the socket function contains? Socket family, then socket type, then protocol. Initially, earlier we have seen the terminologies. So protocol by default is 0. Here the description of the parameters are given below. Socket family. This is either AF Unix or AF INET. Earlier we have seen these explanations. Then the socket types are is either socket stream or socket datagram. Then the protocol, this is usually left out, defaulting to 0. This is the general syntax of creating a socket in Python. Then there are some methods of the socket module. Some of the important methods. The first one just now we already seen, socket.socket. Use it to create sockets. Required on both server as well as client ends to create sockets. This method. Then socket.accept. This method use it to accept a connection. It returns a pair of the values or connection and address, pair of values. Then the next method is socket.bind, which is used to bind the address that uses a specified parameter. Then the next method is socket.close, used to bind the address that is specified as a parameter. Then socket.connect method, used to mark the socket as closed. Then socket.listen, used to connect to remote address specified as the parameter. These are all some of the important methods available in socket module, like many other methods also there. Then coming to server and clients. Here in Python socket module, first we have to define server side program, then we have to define client side program. Server, either a program or a computer or a device dedicated to managing network resources. Can be on the same device or computer or local or even remote. There are various types of server such as database server, network server, front-end server, etc. Servers commonly make use of methods like socket methods, bind method, and listen methods, etc., which are used to establish a connection and bind to the client. Then coming to client. Client is also a computer or software which receives information or services. Clients requests for services from servers. Examples are web browsers such as Google Chrome, Firefox, etc. These web browsers request web servers to send required web pages and services as directed by the user. Other examples of clients include online games, online chats, etc. This is about client side. Now let us see a simple Python program to demonstrate client-server communication. First, let us see the server-side program. Here we will see the program explanation. Later we will see the live demonstration. First, the file name of the server, you can make it as, for example, sockets underscore server dot py. Py is the extension of the Python program. This is the server-side program. First, what you have to do, you have to import socket module. Then you have to establish the connection using socket module with socket function. Let us assume this is server connection. My server equal to socket dot socket of what it contains. It contains socket family, socket type. A socket family is socket.af underscore inet. Its type is here two types, datagram and stream. Connection oriented, connectionless. First for connection oriented, socket underscore stream. So for every method started with the socket module with the dot operator. Socket dot af underscore inet is the socket family. Then socket dot socket underscore stream is the socket type. Here we already seen af inet refers the address from the internet, and socket stream is used to create the TCP protocol. Then you can bind by getting the host name. So my server dot bind method here getting host by using the module socket dot get host name, then the port number 1024, that is the standard port number. Here 1024 is the port number. Provide any port number, no problem. So, but here 102, which is 1023, which is non-privileged. The provide any port number is greater than 1023, which is non-privileged. Then you can listen the server. That means the client requests listen by the server using listen method with the socket object my server dot listen. For example, uh, the time minimum time, let us assume 5. This asks for permission on Windows, the listen method. Okay, then here you can check the condition. So while true, if the following is true, my client comma address equal to my server dot accept, then you can print connection to so and so address established. Here you can see connection to your client IP address connected to so and so IP address, then that connection is established. Here, what is F? We use F is the string literal, one of the Python type. Then that client sends some information to the client from, for example, here my client dot send off in the form of bytes. So the text data, welcome to socket program in Python. Here the standard format UTF-8. Here to pass the message from server to client, the kind of byte is, this is 8-bit format, UTF-8. UTF stands for Unicode Transformation Format. We have 16-bit also. So by default, simpler, we will use 8-bit format. So this is sending data. Okay, that is about server-side program. Then coming to client side. Client side also some common methods are used. Here the file name is given as sockets underscore client.py is the extension of the Python. You can import the socket module as usual in server. Import socket. Then here again you can establish the connection. My server equal to socket of. Again, socket.af inet is the family, comma socket stream is the type. Then you can connect to the server, my server.connect using the get host method with the same port number used in server. In server, use it 1024. So use the same. So 1024 is the same port number given in server. Then receiving message. So that can be stored in the object msg. Msg equal to my server dot using the method receive with the same port number whatever you have given 1024, give the 1024. So here 1024 bytes is just sample byte number, actually received message from the server that is stored in message object. Then print the message with decoded into 8-bit format using UTF-8. So here UTF-8 we already seen is bytes code given in server. Message received from the server can be decoded. Okay, that is about socket client program. Then how to run this program? Actually directly in Python ideally alone we can't run. Using command prompt, we have to run server program and client program separately. Let us see the steps. First, the running procedure. Step 1, we have to go to the command prompt and then change the directory to where your sockets underscore server.py and socket underscore client.py programs are located. Okay, after that, what we have to do? We have to run the server program first. In the command prompt, here you can see the below, suppose C colon so and so, this is the path. Here my file name is sockets underscore server.py. So prefix with Python compiler, the command py space sockets underscore server.py. This is the running of server side program. Then simply you can enter. Then automatically your server started. The cursor is highlighted. Then nothing will be displayed. Only blank screen. Then you can minimize this window, this command prompt window. Then what you have to do? Again you can open new command prompt window. There again you can go to your current working directory. There you can run your client program. Here the client program is sockets underscore clients.py. Again using the same command py space. Here you can see the below py space sockets underscore client.py. So here in the client program, here you can see the output is displayed. Welcome to socket programming in Python. Where this message is available, let us check it is in the server program or client program. So this is the server program. In server program, what is the message you are displaying? In print statement, connection to so and so address established. Then the message, what the message you are sending to the client? Welcome to socket programming in Python. So this information available in the server program only. In client program, you can see in client program simply message is receiving from the server, then that is decoded, message dot decode. But here nothing is printed in the server side. So in the output we can see after running the client program, already we are connected to the server. Then after running the client program, so client communicated to the server by sending one request, then server responds to the client request, then the acknowledgement message, whatever the message available in the server program, that is displayed under the client program. So under client side, welcome to socket programming in Python is displayed. After that again you can go back to server side, then you can see, so initially here you can see after running server program nothing is displayed. Then after running of client program, again come back to the server side. Then here the address will be displayed. So in the server side, one print statement, connection to so and so address established. Now the client address is printed here, connection to so and so address established. Now let us see the server side after running the client program. So after running client program, this is the output at client side. Then open the server side window. Here you can see, here I have opened the server side. Now earlier you can see blank is there. Now here it is showing connection to, in place of ADDR, the IP address along with port number is displayed. So connection to ADDR established. So here in place of address, the IP address followed by port number is displayed. This is the server side output after running the client program. Server source, connection, establishment, IP details. So like that, we can implement client server communication program using Python. Okay, let us come to the Python and demonstrate the same. Okay, open your Python, ideally whatever you use. Actually here already we are having the programs whatever we explained. So no need to open Python ideally shell script. So directly once the Python is available in our system, what you have to do, you can go to the command prompt. So this is the command prompt. Before that, you can find the path of the Python where your programs are available. So here you can see. So how to find the path? Let us see. Suppose here open a new file, click on save. Directly it goes to your working directory. For example, here this is the working directory. So you can copy this path. You can copy this path and close this one. Come to command prompt. Here simply change directory. CD space. You can right click. This is the path actually. So already you are under C users RMMNA. After RMMNA, the remaining path you can copy. Before that, remove the previous prefix part. So after RMMNA, here slash is also required. CD space. Now we are changing to this directory. Simply you can enter. Now you can see it changes to whatever the path we have given. In this, you can search dr space star dot the files with extension py. These are all the various Python programs available. Here, what are our file names? Earlier we have seen socket underscore client.py is the client program. The next one sockets underscore server.py. So first what you have to do as per the procedure whatever we discussed. First we have to run the server side program by using the Python compiler command py space. So what is the file name here? This is the file name py space sockets underscore server dot py. Simply you can enter. So if no errors are there, then simply the cursor is blinking with blank screen. Then what you have to do, you can minimize this window. So again open the new command prompt. Now I am opening another new command prompt. Now again you have to change the directory. So before that, copy that path once again, or you can copy somewhere and keep readily instead of every time going. Okay, now I copied here. Then again come to the new window. So here cd space. So you can remove the prefix before app data. Simply cd space. Then you can enter. Now the directory change to the current working directory. Now your file name, what is the client file name now? If you want again, check it. So our client program is sockets underscore client.py. Now you can run using the Python compiler command py space the client program file name dot py. Sockets underscore client dot py is the client program name. Simply you can enter. Now you can see what is the output you got. Welcome to socket programming in Python, whatever we explained. So client side, server side program, whatever the message available in the server program, that is displayed under client side. So now you can go to the server window. There you can see earlier you have blank. Now connection so and so address is established. That message is displayed along with the IP address followed by its port number. Now if you want you can minimize or directly that is already minimized earlier. What is this one? This is socket.server. Go to the server. Now you can see earlier you have blank screen. Now it shows connection to This is the IP address followed by the port number established. That means successfully the client server communication is established. Like that, with this basic connection, you can write any client server program for any application in Python programming using the socket module. Hope you understand clearly. In next lecture, we will see some other interesting topics related to web programming in Python. Stay tuned for latest updates.